I am Sure Sports. You know me there. I'm coast to coast representing. I mean, I say this is righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get the sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am Sure Sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am Sure Sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know no game play, that me not say it. If me never see no game, me no know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the day done, you are gonna love over here so.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crap of players. We are good enough. Remember to like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment, let me know what your thoughts are.
Made up of 18 Jamaican herbs and spices, add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. Trick Nick Jerk Barbecue Sauce.
Trick Nick Jerk Marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, Scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?
William Day Memorial High School D Cup Alumni presents its third annual fundraising barbecue on Memorial Day, May 30th, 2022. Wear your favorite jersey to Wilsonwood Park in Mount Vernon, New York. Remember to take exit 12 off the Hutchinson River Parkway. Music by DJ Man Max of Sound 1000. Proceeds to aid the William Day High School Da Costa Cup team. For more information, contact Keegan 304-607-4034. Our Codfish at 954-639-2991. Proud of people, it's important. Remember, make sure say Ono did that.
All right, greetings. Good afternoon. Welcome to I Am Sure Sports. My name is, should I give you, Manningsman, of course, and it is my great pleasure to have you with me today in this afternoon edition of our show. I have a beautiful, eloquent, hardworking, sport-centered, especially soccer, Gunners fan who will be joining me to make the show a whole lot better than it normally is. She's going to be here, right? I mean, you're going to maybe you saw the thumbnail, so it's no longer a surprise. Yep. But I'm so happy to have her because she, don't know if you know this, but she was in France with the Reggae Girls in the last World Cup, which is in 2019, and she extensively covers them. Her channel is Talawa TV, right? Don't misunderstand the word Talawa, though it means small. It's no small thing, all right? So don't be fooled by the title, all right? And don't judge the book by the cover. So she will be joining me, but before I bring her on, I'm just, adding the spices and the seasoning, so just let her marinate a little bit in the back room until, right? So I want to say a big thank you to the sponsors of this video. The sponsors are Prestige Finance, lending a helping hand when you need it most. Prestige Finance is located in Linstead, St. Catherine, Jamaica, and you can call them at 876-884-7390. How will they help you? They will offer you a loan of up to 100,000 Jamaican dollars with 0 to 4% interest rate. And if you tell them you heard about them from I Am Sure Sports, you'll pay no processing fee and you will receive same day processing. Also, a big thank you to Launch Legacy. Launch Legacy, yes. Launch Legacy, where they handle risk and seek legacy for all your personal insurance needs in Canada and the USA. Visit them at launchlegacy.com or call or text them at 647-989-0782. Listen, you want to buy long-term insurance? This is a people to talk to. In fact, one of the primary persons in this company is a former footballer here in Jamaica. His name is Patrick Reed. Show him some love. Yes, show him some love. Remember to continue to support the William Knibb Memorial High School. At the end, I'm going to play something to let you know what they are doing, and also the Rossi's Bro Sister Foundation. I'm going to play something at the end so you can see what they are doing and you can support the work that they are doing at their old school and give back to the cause of transforming the landscape of Jamaica. It may be small, but it can do a lot. All right. So again, welcome to the show. As usual, we don't want to pause to tell you to like and subscribe. So once you come on, you hit the like button, you like, and if you have not yet, please ensure that you subscribe to I Am Sure Sports. And without any further ado, I'm going to welcome, right? Yes, none other than I'm not even sure if her surname is Davis, because let me just say this, right? So I hear Crystal Davis, and then I think, is this really her name? I'm going to just call her Talawa TV, because Crystal Davis is the daughter of Beanie Man. And when I play football, what they call me? A Beanie Man. So, and she's not my daughter, so let's see. Maybe she can tell us what's going on right here with the name. Welcome, Talawa.
Oh my gosh. Wow. You had me in
Talawa
tears.
or Crystal. Tell me, what do you go by?
It seems the YouTube community is just giving me both attachments aside from my actual legal name. They seem like they've just given me both Crystal Davis and Talawa TV. But you're right about Beanie Man's daughter. That was something that people used to ask me. Given the similarities to how Beanie Man looks and how my dad looks, people actually thought that he was my dad.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's funny because when they Google and they see Crystal Davis, they just assume. I'm like, you know what? If that's what you want to assume, knock yourself out with it.
See, all of you who have been saying her name is Crystal Davis, see, you don't know. It is not, but we will keep that under wraps for reasons I will not tell you. All right, we don't want you to go. We don't want those trolls to go trolling and all of that. And be following
It's my legal name. I just have no association, no legal association with the musician, the legend himself.
Yeah. All right. So welcome, Malik Mills. Malik Mills. What do you mean? Your first time here? You're ready for class? It is not your first time. Parky says, the JFF just released a new squad. Good afternoon.
I want to talk to you about that because I think I'm not going to say we've been lied to, but somebody hasn't been telling the truth to us. Because I know you came over on my show the other night and it was a fabulous show. Massive shouts out to Manning's Man, also Mr. Richard Stevens and Mr. Mikey Ballin as well. They made a special debut show for the Reggae Girl show. Remember we discussed Drew Spence, and we were both told off air that Drew is only in Jamaica to train because of documentation purpose. But I'm now seeing that she's actually in the team sheet, which is different to the team sheet that was circulated to the media earlier on during the week.
Okay, right, because she was in Jamaica, but remember, I think I did say that Mr. Blaine said there were some glitches, and they were hoping that they would be able to sort it out.
Well, it seems like they've managed to go ahead and do just that, literally, because it's a different team sheet compared to the one that was circulated to the media earlier on at the start of the week. So no complaints here. It's definitely great.
I mean, but it's not a lot of changes though.
No, I think we already knew about Marlo Sweatman and we knew about Paige Bailey Gale. Those two were solidified, nail on the head that they would return to the squad. Obviously, before that, we had slight documentation problems there where Paige Bailey Gale is concerned. So yeah, the big one was Drew Spence. Everyone was excited to see Drew Spence in training. Now it looks like, yeah, she's most certainly part of the squad, judging by JFF's latest announcement.
Yeah, because remember, it was originally supposed to be a 23 member squad, and so the original squad had 20, and I think so. Somebody had COVID, so I think they actually had 23 names, and Drew was one of them, but they didn't add it because they weren't sure.
Yeah.
So I think what they have just done is just updated it, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say I have any problems with Drew.
Definitely no problems there. I mean,
I would have preferred if we could have added a defender.
Yeah.
Because that continues.
At the moment, it looks like it's going to have to be makeshift, but it is what it is at this point. You either sink or swim. So I'm sure the girls will be swimming. No time to say what if or we should or whatever it is. So I'm excited for sure.
I mean, you tell us a little bit. You want to tell the people who are listening a little bit about Drew Spence, sir.
I think I've touched on Drew Spence. Quite pretty much like Drew Spence there. Not to be confused. I know some of us, including myself, I'm sure there'll be a time where we make the mistake and call her Spencer. That will be Rebecca Spencer and Drew Spence. Similar names, but it's definitely easy to make that mistake. Rebecca Spencer plays their trades for Tottenham FC in the Women's Super League in England, and we also have Drew Spence also playing in the Women's Super League, top division of women's football in England, and she plays in midfield for Chelsea. Good to see the return of Drew Spence and also Marlo Sweatman as well in midfield, two midfielders there that can control the midfield. And no midfield, we posed a few questions there. Some of us were desperate to see the return of Marlo and Drew. Thankfully, we've got them returning right in the nick of time. There were a few red flags there, a few question marks as to whether we would go through the first round without either player. So now that they're back in the team, back in the squad, I'm expecting to see a different lineup when that game comes around the corner, first game against Cayman Islands, with the full reintroduction for Drew Spence and Marlo Sweatman. So it's nice to have some bit of calmness back in that midfield.
But she didn't she play for England in 2015 in a friendly?
Yeah, but I mean, friendlies though. Okay. I mean, quite similar. We could say with Drew Spence, we could say the same thing with her friendly back in, when was it? Back in October. Right, that in the sense that it's just a friendly, but there's no commitment there, competitive commitment there where England is concerned.
Okay.
That was like I said, that was way back in 2015, and I think that was 2 caps, right?
She had for England.
I think it was 2 caps there for.
And this is really it for her because she's 29 years old. You figure that by the time she gets to the World Cup, she's probably going to be 30. So this is like her time to shine, which is just making things even more difficult in the midfield for Jamaica. When you think about Juno, Marlo, Asha, I mean. That's loaded. You haven't mentioned Trudy Carter. You haven't mentioned McCoy. I mean, there are so many names there. I mean, in the midfield, Courtney Douglas as well has been added to the. I think Courtney Douglas has been added as well to the new JFF list.
Yeah, her name has been added. Who else has been added from the list that we read out? I think that is it. I think it's Douglas
and Drew
and Spence. Yeah, I don't think no other names have been added to the list that we read out. I have to go through it.
How much do you know? I mean, how well do you know Douglas?
Douglas, quite similar to a few of the players that plays overseas. Difficult to keep a track on them because she is in Florida at the moment, so it's difficult to take a full glance at at Douglas. So that's a player that I need to keep a close tabs on.
Okay, right. Because she plays FSU.
She's got a interesting track record, dating back from probably something that I could send over to you. But she's a player that is well rounded at the university level, in terms of her experience.
Yeah, that's what I'm realizing.
Dating
Because she
back
did play
from,
under 20 and under 17 for Jamaica as well.
yeah, she did. I think that was back in 2014.
Yeah.
Is that the
Yeah,
year that you're looking
2014.
at?
Yeah, that's what the stats are
2014,
saying. Right. She played in 2014. Yeah. Yep. What position? I'm not seeing her position. Seems like she plays
defense.
defense. Yes, I'm wondering if now she's going to fill that right back slot.
Well, if we're going by how if I can get that team sheet looked at again, I could look at the team sheet. It looks as if that's, well, not team sheet, squad announcement. Looks like that's how the back four might look. So it looks as if they might go with the Swaby sisters there, Vian and Douglas, right?
You think they're not going to start Campbell?
I would start Sashana Campbell.
Yeah,
I would definitely start Sashana. I think she's earned her stripes, earned her merit to be part of the starting 11.
And what would you do now that, I mean, so let's say that, because you don't want to probably play all of these new players, so you at once, which is something we saw plague the Reggae Boys, where the integration of players wasn't done, I think, in the wisest way, and that affected the chemistry and the flow of the team. So you may not want to bring in, although some of these girls have played, because Drew did play with them previously. Mm-hmm. All right, so you include Drew in the midfield. Say, let's keep the defense line the way it is. With the Swaby sisters, Sashana, we have Rebecca in goal. At right back, are you going with Wilshire or Van? What's her name?
Van Zanten?
Yeah. Who are you going with at right back?
Who am I going with at right?
Who would
back?
you? Yeah.
Okay, start with your starting 11 again. Who did you say?
So in goal, I'm going Rebecca.
Okay.
The Swaby sisters in the middle, and Sashana at left back.
Whew.
And then right back, could we go Wilshire? Or
Wiltshire she is a utility player, so you could go with Wiltshire.
You would do that? I'm just like, this is the issue I have. Unless they're going to put the sister at right back, because is it one has played right back before?
But what I'm saying is, because you're talking about the reintroduction of a player like Douglas, obviously we had Wiltshire in the last camp, and I know you're talking about not wanting to upset the lineup, the starting 11 and the cohesion. So that's what I'm saying. You based off what you've said, we might as well go with Wiltshire, Wiltshire and start Sashana and keep the Swaby sisters. Right, because at least they're familiar with each other. Not saying I don't trust Douglas, but at this stage of the qualifiers, given what we saw also glimpses of Wiltshire in the last camp, I think it was back in February, we might as well just stick to what we know, stick to the players who have managed to play a extensive minutes under their belt with each other. Just because the defense, like it or not, the defense is still the weakest element of our game. So we might as well just stick to what we know, stick to the players that are familiar with each other. And if we need to make a change, then obviously the gaffer will do that when necessary.
Yeah. All right. So here's what I tell me what you think, right? Here's what I would do. So I would go with Chantel at right back, because she has played right back, and put Douglas beside for the Cayman Islands game, because I think it is an easy enough game to experiment in defense.
I don't think I have to probably disagree with you.
You're keeping both of them.
I'm keeping it as it is. I don't want to watch the game against Cayman Islands. I'm not saying that they're going to be difficult to play against. But what I am saying is, given that our defense is our weakest part of our game, what I saw against Grenada with Cayman Islands is a team that's just they have fuel in the tank. We've got to remind ourselves that these are essentially university and college student. So they have a lot of energy about them, and they're a team that constantly knock on your door. They're not just going to knock once and put their foot on the brakes and kind of take a back seat just because you're Jamaican, you're the superior team. They're going to be at least trying to take their chances at you. Obviously, they're not as clinical as Jamaica, but you don't really want to be toying about with your defense. Just because if we go with your suggestion, what that tells me is that puts us in a position where we're being a little bit complacent because we're underestimating the opponent. Probably not to a great amount, but I think when you're in a position where, let's not kid ourselves, it has to be a must win, and we have to win by a healthy margin as well, right? Given the position we're in, goal difference wise, we want to rack up those goals in.
You know what? If I go back, I go back to the under, because I remember Courtney Douglas. She's a very good defender.
You could start Courtney Douglas. I have no qualm starting Courtney Douglas, but I'm not against starting Wiltshire because we saw Wiltshire in the last camp.
Okay,
I'm talking about people.
Okay, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Because the reason why I'm saying includes Sashana, the Swaby sisters, and Wiltshire is because we've seen them in the last
play together. Okay.
So they're used to playing to each other. Douglas, she has to reintegrate herself, and we're putting her in a position where, well, in some case you're playing outside of the norm. You're playing away from home. You're playing it will be for us a must win, but also it's a game where it's like you can't afford to lose focus. Not saying Douglas is going to lose focus, but there's no room for error there. No room. We saw what the skipper said. We saw Bunny said, in the first game, and without her saying it, it's no secret. She said that, the players were, quote and unquote, paraphrasing, a little bit shy because of the occasion. It took a while for us to get rhythm, and there's no secrets behind that. We could see that, and she had to basically say she had to calm her team down and let them know that we're at home, take our chances.
Yeah, Dre's reminded us that Chantel Swaby played right back in Florida versus Costa Rica. But I hear that. But what Crystal is saying is that, listen, it makes no sense we make any adjustments now. Just get the win. And move on.
Because we had no complaints. I didn't see no one complaining with Sashana Campbell's input. I didn't see no one complaining about the centre back pairing. With the centre back pairing of the Swaby sisters, and I didn't see no one make any complaints about Wiltshire either. So considering the circumstances that the makeshift defense and what we saw over the 2 strings of games, there weren't really much complaints where our defense is concerned. But if it is a case where Douglas does start, then obviously there's no qualms there.
I agree with you. Now that you're saying it that way, I would agree with you. Just go with the same team, and then you can make adjustments because you have 5 changes.
I
just think at some point the coach needs to look at, because did he see enough from Wiltshire? If he's confident that she's going to be the right back, but I'm thinking because it's a problem area, I have always felt it's a problem area for the team. If it's a place that we can get the best out of Swaby playing there, then because we have more centre backs, he could probably try to find centre backs. That's what I'm thinking. Like, which game would be the best game to experiment in as you look to the next round? It's not Dominica, but you're saying no experiment.
For me, Mannings, it's like, because heavy emphasis on that goal difference there. For me, it's not about being experimental at this stage. It's about being ruthless. It's about saying, look, for me, the experiment came in the two games against Bermuda and Grenada. That's where the experiment took center stage, and we saw that with the number of players that were given chances. For me, now it's just about just going out there and just finishing off the job. The gaffer said a few months ago that we will be qualifying for the World Cup. And the only way to qualify for the World Cup is to be ruthless. It's not about trying to be, chop and change and trying to keep players overly happy. we just have to be ruthless and just have to go with the formula that works for us at the moment. And I do think that the centre back pairing of the Swaby sisters, again, the inclusion of Sashana Campbell, somebody who has been here before, been in this type of environment before, you can use her knowledge and her experience to get us over the line. I think that's what it's all about at the moment. Of course, if we're sitting on a healthy cushion going into the second 45 against Cayman Islands, then yeah, you can toy about with your defense. But Cayman Islands, from what I saw against Grenada, and we know that Grenada have a good defense, like Grenada's defense.
Yeah, they were very disciplined against Jamaica.
And they very disciplined, and they were knocking on their doors. In the first 45, I was like, they're not as clinical as perhaps they wish they could be. But in the second 45, within 10 minutes in, you were seeing a more clinical Cayman Islands. And I was thinking, I looked at the clock, I'm like, 90 minutes on the clock, and they have not stopped running. They've not stopped trying to knock on the door. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you're going to be, yes, we're in a position where it is a makeshift defense, but you want to make sure that is the strongest makeshift defense. And for me, the defense is just like the rest of the team. Further up the pitch, it's about cohesion. It's about players being switched on for the full 90 minutes. It's about communication as well. Players being communicating. If Chantel Swaby goes forward, there should be another player that cuts across to step in her position, and they should know that, because that's what you get from playing with each other. You should know what your teammates about to do and the movement that your teammates about to take.
Yeah. Well, very good point. Very good point. So we're going to stick with the defense that Crystal has chosen because she's the wiser one.
No, don't go with my defense.
Yeah, with Will shot right back. I mean, that's it. Jay agreed as well. So Will shot right back. Sashana, we only had a disagreement on the right back position. So we are going to go with you. So Will shot right back. The Swaby sisters in the middle. Sashana left. Rebecca in goal. Now that Drew is available, do we alter our midfield to include her, or do we sit her on the bench? Because I think when we're on your show and I named the 11, she was not in the squad. She was not in it. Now she's in the squad. Is she automatic?
That is a very good question. That is a very good question. I feel like it.
I can't tell you what I think, right?
Go on.
You want me to do that? So, I think this is tough because I thought Kayla McCoy played with Asha very well. All right, so I'm at the game at the stadium, and here's the thing: just how they like some things you don't see on TV. You don't see how they coordinate when the ball is not with them or what they're doing and the interchanging. You don't see certain things. So at the game, they seem to have had a good little partnership, though McCoy is not a
natural midfielder.
I think she could play in the number 10 role, but the deep line or the box to box, she doesn't. That's not her area in terms of playing overseas at Glasgow, right?
Yeah, she plays for Rangers.
Rangers, right? She plays forward predominantly, either in a 2 or like a number 10, one behind the other, because she really doesn't play on the flank either. She doesn't really play like how Jody is a winger. She is not necessarily a winger, right? Though she can be deployed out there. So right. So she will either have to play where Bonnie Shaw plays, which is right down the middle, or right behind Shaw, or right. Which means that if she's not going to play as the start of a Bonnie, if we go 2 forwards, it means you bench Jody Brown, right? So how do you involve Jody Brown and still keep Kayla McCoy on the team at the same time? So I figure that she will either have to play in midfield ahead of Drew, or she sits on the bench and Drew starts.
When you put in a Rolls Royce performance like what Kayla McCoy did, you don't park your Rolls Royce on the bench. That Rolls Royce is waxed and ready to go. So you put your Rolls Royce right in the starting 11. And again, it's an interesting position to be in, because this is on Vin Blaine. He has a difficult decision to make. Hopefully he makes the right one. And for me, the right
Yeah.
sorry, I cut you off. Go on.
No. I was saying that hopefully he makes the right one. So I was going to ask you, what is the right one? So let me
The
hear
right one, I think, is just like what we've been talking about there. You said it. I touched on something quite similar, with regards to when you're watching the games in the stadium, and when you're watching it at home, you're seeing it from two different perspectives because of the camera angles and so on. And you're right, there is that togetherness there with not Drew Spence,
Asher.
with Kayla McCoy and Chinelu Asher already.
Asher.
So why would you want to upset that? I'm not saying that Drew Spence isn't capable of continuing that, but there is no question mark there when you think of Chinelu Asher's partnership and also Kayla McCoy's partnership there in midfield. And we've always said, if something isn't broken, why try to fix it? That pairing at the moment, alongside, you also have Trudy Carter as well. It doesn't need to be dismantled. They've given us no reason for us to dismantle it at present. So I would say, yeah, I would say, I know people are not going to be in favor of what I'm saying, given the profile of Drew Spence, but also it's also about man management, and it's more so than man management. It's about what message do you want to send to the squad? Because I don't know about you, but I'm always in favor of, it doesn't matter the profile of the player, you should have to work to be part of the starting 11. It shouldn't be a case of, because of your profile, that you're just given a pass to be part of the starting 11. We put in two invaluable performances against Bermuda and Grenada in the last camp back in February. I'm confident that we'll do more of the same, whether that be starting Kayla McCoy. I think if you tell people that you want to put Kayla McCoy on the bench, you've got to have a solid reason as to why you want to put Kayla McCoy on the bench. So if anyone's going to, and Chinelu Asher, most certainly you're not moving Chinelu Asher, and you're not moving Kayla
So
McCoy.
you're telling me that Marla Sweatman and Drew Spence are not going to start? I find that hard.
It's the same response you would get when, we did a vague starting 11 over on my channel, and you said Tiffany Cameron don't start, but then it's just like, how does she not start when she plays so well for club and country, and she's in form? So when you look at the attack, there's always going to be an upset. Because if you say to people that you're dropping out Tiffany Cameron, like I asked you on my channel, I'm just like, really? Tiffany Cameron not starting, Sade not starting. There's going to be upset in the starting 11, but that's good. And because they are upset, take out your frustration on your opportunity. So when you're given the chance to come on as a substitute, let Vin Blaine know that you shouldn't be coming on as a substitute, that you should be coming on as part of the starting 11. But it's gonna be an interesting one. I'm not really sure if he's going to go with what we've seen in the last camp, or if he's going to go back to say, let me use my traditional midfield.
What about this mid three that Karim Grant has up? Asher, Spence, and Sweatman. Which means that you are displacing Kayla McCoy. And this is what you're saying. So it is a good problem to have, but I do understand that if you played well in the last game, why should you not start? But Drew Spence is coming and saying, but I played well in the last game, but I just couldn't come to the game. So now that I'm back, why am I not back in the team?
To be honest with you, I don't think it's a conversation that's entertaining. We're entertaining a conversation, but I if I'm being honest, I do believe that Drew will start. But I don't think it will be I'll be shocked if it's if she's replacing Kayla McCoy, if I'm being honest with you, because she was elegant in midfield. Absolutely elegant in midfield. And Chinelu Asher, we can't overlook Chinelu Asher's performance in midfield as well. So I'm expecting both of them to start. At least I'm expecting Chinelu Asher and also
unless he plays and again, if he goes to a midfield 4, like with a diamond, it's going to almost put. Where do you put Jody Brown? Because Jody Brown predominantly plays as a winger. So I think I don't I'm trying to figure what is I see Leon Price saying that he would go with Asher Spence and McCoy.
That's what I think it will be.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think if Drew is going to be introduced, despite me saying that I think a player should play for their position in the starting 11, because then that just open up a different dialogue of people will say, oh, you have favoritism, or people would say that, if a player don't have to compete for their position, irrespective of the quality of the player that comes into the team. But outside of that, I do think that it will be Chinelu Asher.
So this is what I would do. I'd put Asher and Spence in that more deep line, and then put McCoy as a number 10.
That's what I think is going to happen. Yeah. That's what I think. But like I said, if there's going to be someone that comes out of the team, I can't see it being McCoy. She's giving zero reasons for her to be omitted from the starting 11. I mean, no, Chinelu Asher, she's a midfielder, so there's no reason to even think, combining with her performance, there's no reason to drop her.
Yeah. You can't, if some Tennessee, let me just take your comment. He's saying play McCoy in her natural position. What if you do that? You're gonna bench Bonnie Shaw.
That's the problem. That's why we're saying that's included in midfield.
Yeah. So I think that would be Drew along with Asher and McCoy up top. All right. Now, if you keep Jody Brown out left, all right, Bonnie Shaw down the middle. Who goes on the right? Can Bailey Gale play out there, or do you still keep Tiffany, who has been playing well for her club?
This is going to be
Arsade. Who goes out there? Because both of them played out on that side in the first 2 games.
I mean, based off what we saw over the last 2 games, that's again the attack there was no reason. I'm just looking at the attack in case you're wondering why is my eyes off screen. There's no reason there to not start Sade, Brown, and Bunny. And also, like we said, we know what Tiffany Cameron does at club level and for the national team as well. It's a tough position to be in, because when we started off this campaign, we could have afforded to sit Tiffany Cameron on the bench and then introduce her. This time round, we need to be more clinical in terms of adding to the goal tally, right? And getting closer to that goal difference that the Dominican Republic created, and hopefully equaling it or going above it. So that makes a difficult one in terms of whether Tiffany Cameron will start against Cayman Islands, or will she be introduced start against Dominican Republic. I feel like she's going to start against Dominican Republic. I think it might be Brown and Sade that starts against Cayman Islands.
Really? So what about Bailey Gale? Can't she play on the right?
Who are you going to replace Bailey Gale with, though? This is the thing. This is what I'm saying. Like, if the players haven't given you a reason to be dropped, you can't just drop them.
So you give them a reason. If they have not given you a reason, you give them a reason. So here's the reason. You're not being dropped. You're being rested. Because you're being rested. And here's why. All right? Because we're going to manage Bunny. All right? So she's going to play 60 minutes. You are going to come on. We're going to manage the game, because the travel time, when we finish playing, it's a late game. When we finish playing, to leave the next day and come to Jamaica, right? We have a little time. Jet lag and all of that, though it's a short flight. So we are giving you a reason. Here's the reason. Excellent. But we have to manage. These are the 6 areas. Between midfield and forward are the areas where we have the most depth. So here's what. We're going to rotate. So if they have not given you a reason, you give them the reason, and the reason is squad rotation because of the depth that we have. All right. So that would be my sell, because I'm not dropping, because a person not playing does not necessarily mean that they are dropped.
Say that last bit for me again,
A
Mannings.
person not playing is not, you're not dropped.
Mannings,
You know
you're
you're
dropped.
not
You're dropped. You're
technically.
dropped. In
Technically,
football
you're not.
terms, if you
Huh?
play one match and then the next match come and you're not in that starting 11, you get dropped. You got dropped to the bench. The nice way of putting it, yes, like you've said, is you've been rested.
What?
But if you want to like make yourself feel good, you can say that you have been rested. But somebody here, Renault FC says Jody out.
Out.
Jody out on what merit?
And what merit?
On
How
what
many
merit?
goals has Jody scored? She scored in both games.
On what merit do you put Jody? This is what I'm saying, and we see it all the time. And I guess, sometimes fans might want a particular player to start purely based off the league and the country that they play in, but there's more to it than that. So I actually want to know from the guys in the comment section, because I'm sensing here that someone is saying drop Jody Brown. Jody Brown can't be dropped. She's giving no reason for Jody Brown to be dropped. So I actually want Renault to explain why he wants
explain what,
Jody
because
to
I
be
don't agree
dropped.
with that.
Because no, I don't agree
Karim
with
Grant
that.
is saying you'd start Sade on the side, on the right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sade has been one of our most improved players. She's not given no reason for her to be dropped, or in Manning's words, rested. She's not given no reason to be rested. So you can't afford to be. For me, she was effective. Sade was effective, and like I said, if you're talking about being brutal, go with the players that you know have proven that they are effective. I don't really want to take a gamble. I'm not saying other players aren't capable of doing that. Definitely not saying that, but I know that you're capable of being effective, invaluable to the team. So why wouldn't I start you? We have to look at these two games as well, Mannings, as they are two cup finals for us. That's it.
Yeah.
We need to rack up those the scoreline on both occasions, particularly over Cayman Islands.
Yeah. And then I see just a couple. Leon Price says, I have Bailey Gale on the bench, a sub to come on, give her some game minutes.
See, now I could agree with Leon there, Mr. Price. Yeah, I could agree with you on that. No disrespect to Paige Bailey Gale, but I can't see, given her limited number of minutes at club level, I can't see Paige coming into the team and then starting again of what merit. What merit does Paige start over the players that were there in the last camp, and given their performances as well? So it's an interesting one, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't agree with the drop Jody though.
Yeah, no way. Listen, not just because she's from St. Anne, but because she has scored in both games. I mean, she's like, outside of Bonnie, she's the most prolific in the team. You can't drop her, man.
People, let me warn you about Mr. Manning, Mr. Gunner Man himself. Do not come on this platform and talk about drop Bunny, okay? Manning's will tell you to unsubscribe. Don't ever do that again. Don't ever do that again.
But I don't worry about Tennessee. Lewis is saying, remember, Bunny's on a yellow card. But
yeah, from really, the Bermuda
yeah, but
game.
I don't think she's not one of those yellow card prone players.
Reckless players,
yeah. So she shouldn't even have gotten the yellow card, really. So I don't think it is anything to worry about. But I would not play her all game if we're up. So if we're up like by 4 in the 68th minute, I would sub her. Why?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because I think we have enough depth now in the team. There was a time when she had to play the game out. Jody had to play the game out, but I think we have quality coming off the bench that affords us the ability and opportunity to say, all right, we can rest you, especially in midfield. And that is why I am insisting that you're not being dropped. You're being rested. That's why. Like, Yeah, so I'm not dropping. Like, if Tiffany, you know what? Tiffany has been in sparkling form at her club for real. But Marla could say the same thing. Marla could say, listen, the last time I played, I was a standout in your midfield. I'm having a good season at my club, right? Come on. What am I doing on the bench? And I mean, it's good problems to have. And that is why so the coach now has to say, listen, it is rotation. Arteta don't drop Emil Smith Rowe. It's quad rotation. That's what I think it has to be sold as. But it's a good problem. It's a good problem that we're having.
Coordinating, right? I like it. Resting and coordinating. You learn something new every day. I like it.
But Leon Price is saying Marlo's speed, I think up here it says her speed ain't there. All right, so when you talk about the speed of the Jamaican, you have to talk about the speed of those who are playing against. The truth is our ball retention is so good that we don't worry about speed. I think against Grenada, speed was not an issue. Speed will not be an issue against the Cayman Island in terms of, because I think we will possess the ball more than the Cayman Island. The ball possession stats, I think, will highly be in favor of Jamaica. So for me, I am not concerned about how fast our players are. That is more of a concern when we take on USA and Canada. But I don't see it being a problem. Maybe the Dominican Republic, I need to watch their game tomorrow to see their speed of play. But I think Marla is such a good player on the ball. But I wouldn't start her though. I wouldn't start her because Asha, McCoy, they have been looking well. And when I saw Drew, she is like on the team sheet. Once she's fit, she's probably the first name that goes on it.
It's an interesting point there that Mr. Price has made, because that's what makes Marlo so effective. It's the fact that she has the ability, the skill set to actually calm down the game. And that's what you need, particularly for her midfield position. Sorry, for her position on the pitch. You need somebody who can calm down the game. You don't need to be charging at your attack for a full 90, because you leave yourself exposed, don't you, at some point. So that's what makes Marla Spetman so effective, because of her attributes.
Yeah. Yep. There you go. Let me say this one. Leon Price is saying Bonnie's strength alone would give her a yellow card. I think he's saying because her opponents are weaker players, so her strength alone would cause her to get yellow card.
That would be a little bit harsh there from the match officials.
And then it says, her speed is not there. This is a much stronger team than what got us to the last World Cup. Well, listen, I think when the other players, like if Havana was in this team and Jade was in this team, or when they get into this team, and I really think though we are still missing options at wing back on both sides and center, and at least one other center back, because Konya is out. So I think, would I say that we're stronger? I think we are at a better place, but I think that squad in the World Cup was stronger because we had better defensive options. I think, and Havana really came in and added. I think she's the player that I think, like if she was in this team, it just opens up everything, because she's a number 10 who is right. So
natural, yeah,
she is like
skilled, very elegant player.
Elegant number 10. All right, that's where we're going to have problems. Like when these players are back in the team, how are we going to manage? Of course, there's Denisha Blackwood who can play out on the wing back as well, who hopefully she'll be back in the mix as well. But we have some good options, but I wouldn't necessarily say that this team, because I still have concern against better teams with the strength of the defense, especially in the wing back areas on both sides. Yeah, Nigel Smith is saying Page is the best player in the team. Page? Which Page?
Paige Bailey Gale.
Is the best player in the team? Nigel, do you know that Khadija Bonishaw plays for Manchester City, and Page plays for Leicester City?
Nigel is trying to draw you out, Mannings. Don't let Nigel draw you out.
I'm
Nigel bored at home and he's trying to draw you out.
I'm just wondering, like, this must be a trick question. Hey, Nigel, this must be...
Everybody's entitled to an opinion, but Nigel's trying to draw you out, definitely.
Yeah. Why don't you take this one? Big up Formula Sport, the man cool as a cucumber, right? In the building. He says, big up Mannings, big up Crystal.
Question. Pick up yourself, Mr. Formula.
Yep. He says, has the official squad been named? All I see is pictures on Instagram. All right. So I'm going to send you, I can send you Formula something, and then you add to it Drew, Spence, and Courtney Douglas. All right. Bam. Right on your phone. You just got it. All right. See, Reno FC saying, look at the bigger picture. USA and Canada. Jody missed too much goals. Where? I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if, like, and this is why I encourage persons to watch some of the live games. All right, because I don't think, as good as TV is on the replay, we miss certain things. All right, we miss certain things when we watch it on TV. When they say too much goals, if she gets 4 chances and scores 2, that's 50%. So I'm not sure I can agree with that, but I understand your position. I can understand. And then the player from Crystal Palace, I know they're still working on her paperwork to see if she will get in the team, hopefully. By the time we get to the final round, which will be played in Mexico, like we said. But for this game, I think we have a good enough side. I think there should be some level of rotation, and we should look at Dominica to see what they have to offer, because they play against Bermuda, and I keep saying to people, Crystal, that it's not going to be an easy game. I think the Bermuda team against Jamaica were very, they were well shaped in terms of their defense. They played with a lot of discipline. They didn't pose as much threat as the Grenadian team going forward, but they were disciplined throughout the game. Though we could have scored more, they were very disciplined. And I think we're going to see the same kind of a play against the Dominican Republic. I know one of their key players was injured in the game. The same player that Bonishaw, she's their better defender. I understand that she could be back because I heard it was a serious injury. So I think she's going to be needed in that game. But there has to be some rotation. I don't expect Jody to play all the game in the Cayman Islands. I also know that the surface is going to be better. Because to be fair, in Grenada, the surface contributed to how the team played. The surface was not the best. If you have a surface now, and from the television view, the National Stadium, is leaps and bounds above it, then the surface is bad. And from what I saw, the National Stadium was way above the stadium the game was played in Grenada. Cayman Islands have better surfaces. Therefore, I expect the team to play better and the ball to move faster on the surface. What say you, Crystal?
You know what? All I can say is I'm looking forward to that game against Cayman Islands. People need to remind themselves that yes, Jamaica have gotten better in terms of our quality compared to our last World Cup cycle, but so have other nations in the Caribbean. Other Caribbean countries, just like us, they've improved as well. So you can't necessarily go against say an opponent and say they are lesser than us, so therefore we should be smashing them out the park, therefore it should be double figures. It's not like that this time around. The game against Grenada last night, Grenada versus Cayman Island, that was quite pleasing on the eye if you're a neutral, in terms of we got to see what Cayman Islands is capable of. And yes, they are a young squad, but they're a little bit gritty. They do ask questions, and if we switch off, they can. And I could see Cayman Islands finding themselves on the scoreboard, just like what who was it? Was it Grenada did to us in the last game, and we made just a slight error, and they were there to capitalize. So it's a game that's going to require maximum attention, maximum focus. We can't just be looking at them and saying, "Oh, because you're at the foot of the table alongside Bermuda, they're occupying the fourth and fifth position that we're there for." They're there for just there for the taking, and we can have our way with them. At the end of the day, we still have to give them the bare minimum, which is to respect them. Go out there, yes, defeat them with a healthy scoreline, like I said, just to increase, get ourselves closer to that goal difference there that betters or favors Dominican Republic as things stands. But we most certainly have to just take them serious, give the opponent the respect. And we saw that when we played against Bermuda. Were in high praises of us, and that's what I liked about them in their post-match conference. They were very classy in defeat, gave us our respect. Obviously said that we're one of the better teams in CONCACAF, one of the superior teams. But just because we were superior, that didn't mean that they feared us, and we saw that with Bermuda, which is why Mannings is saying what he said. Bermuda put up a decent shift against us. Let's not be fooled by the scoreline. Likewise with Grenada as well. Yes, we beat them 6-1. In the grand scheme of things, 6-1 is a hammering if we're talking about football scorelines. But if we're being honest with ourselves, Grenada put in a decent shift against us as well, most certainly where their defense is concerned.
And the present technical director was a part of the Grenada football setup and coached them. So they're not an easy team. So Malik Mills says, are you with the 20-0 versus... No, I don't know who said that, but I don't think, unless you have several red cards, I don't see that happening.
Malik coming like Travis. Travis from Believe Ball. Travis said we're gonna beat who again? Grenada 40-0. So Travis, you're sure? Remember, Travis was giving the predictions on my show.
Yes.
Travis said 40-0. No, we have Malik. Malik said 20-0.
No,
guys.
No, Malik. Listen, football, those things, listen, everyone is improving, like Crystal just said, right? Everyone is improving. Tennessee is saying, Crystal, that he wasn't talking about the team that played in the World Cup. He's talking about the team that got us there, the one that played in the qualifiers. But it was the same players predominantly who played in the last qualifiers, and I think they just added like Havana. They may have added like 2 or 3 players.
What was the point that Tennessee was trying to make? I completely missed that one.
He's asking if, let me just ask a question. Is the team that played in the qualifiers for the last World Cup, I think he's asking if this team is better than it.
Oh, I hate this conversation.
That is why I said what I said.
I like the question, but
yeah,
for me, let me tell you the reason why I hate having this conversation. Maybe hate is too strong of a word. It's literally because they are history makers. That's the reason why I don't like having the conversation. But if we're being honest and we're talking about quality, of course, we at this time round for this World Cup cycle, we do have better quality players available. But I don't like to touch on that conversation because those girls, even the ones who didn't make it to the World Cup, they're history makers. They've got their names etched in Jamaican football history, not just Jamaican football history where the women's team is concerned, but for the men's team as well, just as a collection, Jamaican football, period. They are history makers within their own rights. And, you know, even players that bring themselves to the new Jamaica setup, they're not, even if we do go ahead and qualify, they won't be able to say that they were one of the first players to get Jamaica to our first ever World Cup. They can say they took us to our second ever World Cup, but there's something special about saying you took Jamaica to their first ever World Cup. So I don't really like to compare the two, but yeah, Tennessee, you're obviously I can't disagree with your point.
Yeah. Yep. All right. And then Leon Price is asked, what's the name of the Crystal Palace player? That's the wing back at Crystal Palace.
Siobhan Wilson. Who asked that? Mr. Price?
Yeah.
Siobhan. Sounds like Mr. Price wants to do some scouting for us. I hope he gets
But I know she has been contacted already. I know. Yeah. And this is what I keep, again, I will say this, that one of the things I appreciate more on the female side is that the players do more and the coaching staff do more. Because when you think about this, Drew is now being added. Gail is being added, right? Jade could be in. Rebecca came in. So there seems to be a better ability to get players at the highest level quicker than in the other program.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So somebody saying Crystal is the first them hear you speak in patois. Like you should speak it a little more. I don't know why. Why would you need to speak patois a little more? No man, she's all right. As long as you can understand it, it's all good, right?
Maybe I need to remind them of my birthplace. I think that's probably what I need to do.
Yeah, listen, you don't have to speak no patois. What wrong with you? Boss Thomas, relax. I watched both players played, and Paige is a better talent. Not because you're a Manchester City player means that you're better than every player at Leicester City.
No, let me tell you, Mannings, do not bite. Okay,
Nigel is serious.
Nigel isn't serious, not even in the slightest. I'm telling you, Nigel isn't serious.
So I will not continue.
Nigel, don't bite. Let Nigel know that your belly is full. You don't need to bite. Okay. There's that's no disrespect to Paige Bailey-Gale or any player in that Jamaica squad, but Khadija Banishaw has earned her rights to be in the position that she is. There's a reason why she's the highest profile player that we have in the squad at the moment. There's also a reason why she plays for Manchester City as well. So Nigel is definitely pulling your leg with that one.
Yep, UEFA Champions League. Okay. Yeah. WSL 2021-2022, 13 matches, 4 goals, 3 assists. FA Cup, 4 goals in 4 matches. All right. Bordeaux, 2020, 20 matches, 22 goals, 7 assists in 2020 to 2021. In 2019 to 2020, 15 matches, 10 goals for Jamaica. I'm telling you, I don't know why am I doing this. Big up here, man. Big up the ballers then, but like I said, I'm not going to do it. Yeah. And Khadija is just 25. She just turned 25.
Just turned 25 as well, did she?
In January. So she's not, 5 age gap.
Mr. Smith is pulling your leg. Trust me on that. I don't know him personally. He's pulling your leg 100%.
Yeah, and then King Jav was saying that someone got 19. But the other thing I want us to discuss is the benefit of having a mini training camp. How important having the girls released in time, because, and this is something good again, all of the girls were here on Monday,
Mm-hmm.
right? All the girls were here on Monday, which means that there was there is adequate time for them to prepare for the game. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, like 3 full sessions
Yeah.
out there on the field. I think this is good as well.
Yeah, it's fantastic because that's something that we've always pondered over when it comes to Jamaica football, just the late arrivals and the knock-on effect that that has on your body. And we saw that at the last camp, didn't we? With the our opener against Bermuda on home soil. It was safe to say that you could put the slow start down to a number of factors. Perhaps one of the factor at the time might have been the fact that the girls were jet lag, because like I said, I think I heard Mr. Blaine said that some of the players were traveling for about 17 hours, if I'm not mistaken. And I thought 17 hours, I travel from London to Jamaica, and that's about 8 to 9 hours. And when I land in Kingston, my body is sore, literally. So you can imagine if a player is traveling for about 17 hours, that's going to take a negative toll on the body. So now that they've been in Jamaica, like Manning said, from the start of this week, that be it Monday, they would have been able to rest, have a decent number of hours of sleep, perhaps go and unwind in the pool, relax their muscle a bit, and I'm sure they'll be roaring to go come Saturday evening for you guys, early Sunday morning for us if you're based in the UK at 1 a.m. for the game against Cayman Islands.
Yeah, yeah. Big up. No, you can't say big up both of you guys. Ryan, come on, man. You gotta say big up both of you. Right? You can't say you guys. All right? It's a guy and a girl. I mean, you can't even put Crystal in the category of guy brethren, don't you see? Look at her good, right?
Since it's Mr. Ryan Jackson is
Right.
forgiving.
I'm going to let Talawa answer this. So Nigel Smith is asking if I have seen. Why do you think I know the player? I know the player.
You know what it is as well. I mean, I could easily ask that question to you, Mr. Nigel Smith. I'm sure since you're asking that question, you must see. And we're not trying to pit any reggae girl against each other, because that's not the case here. But just to answer your question, just to add some context as to why you might see Paige on the bench. I don't know what the start 11 is going to be, but if she is on the bench, and it's not necessarily something that you could argue against, given how well our attackers played against Bermuda and also against Grenada as well. And also, if we look at Paige Bailey Gale and look at Leicester City, again in the top division of the Women's Football League in England, Paige Bailey Gale, unfortunately, she has been made to rest for Leicester City. So it's not a case as if she's playing week in, week out, finding the back of the net for Leicester City. Therefore, she's within more than a shout of cementing her name in the starting 11. There's still not that clear and equal opportunity given to Paige Bailey Gale at club level. Whether or not that would have a knock-on effect as to whether she starts the game against Cayman Island and then subsequently against Dominican Republic, that remains to be seen. But if that is the case, then it's not necessarily something that you can argue against outside of her brilliant performance against Costa Rica back in October.
All right. So let me say this. Yes, Nigel, I have watched her played. And I have watched Bonnie Shaw played from the leagues in Jamaica, high school. I watched her in college. I watched her at Bordeaux. I watched her playing for Jamaica. And I watched her playing for Manchester City. And Nigel, I will tell you this. Paige Bailey is an excellent player. And indeed, she's 20. But right now, the best Jamaican player is Khadija Shaw. The stats don't lie. But I am glad that Paige is in the team. And like I said, if she starts, it will not be replacing Bonnie Shaw. It will be alongside Bonnie Shaw. Bonnie Shaw is the all-time leading goal scorer in Jamaica's football history. That's on the male and on the female side. She has surpassed the likes of Paul Teagat Davis and the Luton Shelton, all of these guys. She is not ordinary. But Paige Bailey, I don't like to compare players, right? Because I don't want to. We don't have to put one down to put one up. All right, right. But it's not normal for someone to score so many goals. For Bordeaux, go and check the stats. She was scoring more than a goal a game. Right? She comes to City, and she's having good season. It's not like she's having a poor season. All right, and it's not saying that like what Crystal is saying. We are not saying that Paige Bailey isn't a good player and she will even get a whole lot better. What we're saying is right now, the best player in the team must be Khadija Bonishaw. When we are playing teams, you watch the World Cup that she played. They were seeking to mark her. When Jamaica plays, the team who are coming to play us, they're planning for one player and one player only, Khadija Bonishaw. And there's a reason for that. All right. Oh yeah, Ryan. You can't say, guys. You need to change that, man. Brain Drain, thanks for the super chat, right? But you're on the wrong stream, my brother. That stream was the early morning stream. C-Bar finishing out of the top 3, all right?
Is that your high school, Mannings?
You know, I actually went to Mannings, but I was supposed to do 6th
Oh,
form.
yes. Silly
Right.
question.
Yeah.
Silly
I was
question.
actually supposed to do 6th form when I came back into Kingston, did all the registration and was supposed, but I guess I didn't meet Brain Drain or Jason, so I decided that, hey, guess what? This school ain't for me. I didn't see many crystals there, right?
Okay, now it all makes sense.
Yeah, and I was coming from a school that had predominantly crystals.
Okay,
and
perfect school.
I
then.
was
Now
coming
it all
from a
makes
school that had
sense.
many crystals and few Chris. And then I went to a next school that only had Chris without the tal. You understand me? So I just say, hey, it took a little time to adjust.
Pastor 6 is dropping lyricals, mate.
But in sport, I support Calabar and Manid. You know, that's just my thing. So big up Brain Drain. Yeah,
Makes
yeah.
sense.
All right. All the players on the national team are very good players. That's why they're representing Jamaica. Cool. That's how I see it, right? But yeah, and that's the thing I love about female football. When they speak, like men will come out and say, I'm the best this and I'm the best this and the best player. You rarely hear players in the that's what I love about the female football. They always never speak of themselves better than their teammates. And I like that. I like the fact that it's always about we and the team. With men, sometimes the ego causes them to kind of take some credit, right? Yeah. You know, so that is it. Yep. Yeah. Nigel Smith, or Leon Price. Good sub and can start for Bunny Shaw, tired or can. No, but I think she can start as well. She can start beside Bunny as well, you know.
Yeah, she can start. She can definitely
start. She's a good quality player. Shaw alone can bully over team. Yeah. I didn't ask if you see Bunny play. My question was about Paige. Still don't answer. I did say that. I did say I've watched her played. But I also went on to say how I've watched Bunny play. But I've watched Paige play. Maybe not as much as Bunny. Because remember, we only started following these players when we found out that they could represent Jamaica. Prior to that, I would not have been watching her. So I would not be able to tell you about her early developments and stuff. But the moment they started representing Jamaica, maybe you can say, well, I haven't watched her enough. So, if you go and say anything, understand I haven't watched her enough. Say that. But from what I've seen and what I've heard from people all over the world, right now when you're talking about some of the best players in the world and the best forwards in the world, I can tell you, Bonnie Shaw's name probably will be in the top 10 right now. If you talk about the 10 best female forwards in the world, she's probably going to be in the top 10 right now. In the world, in world football. That's it. What say you, Crystal? You agree?
I think we've touched on it already. I still kind of feel like Mr. Nigel there is trolling us. I think he wants a certain type of reaction out of us, but he's not going to get it today, unfortunately. But I see what he's trying to gain, but this is the wrong platform for that.
Yeah, and one of the things that I have, and this is what I have asked that they do this, right? And maybe the girls need to, I don't want to say take it upon themselves. Mm-hmm. That is not the best term, but the girls need to engage themselves in this process. I think by now we should have heard from them. So you haven't heard, and I think this is part of the conversation we were having on your platform.
Yeah.
My argument still remains the same. With or without promotion, go to the game. Mm-hmm. But there's a need for visibility. And it is still unfortunate that mainstream media has not gone. You watch the news programs and stuff, it's like you and Coach's Desk and other YouTube platforms that are posting pictures of the training and stuff. And no champs is going on, but there is no spotlight that is really being put on the girls. Though they are doing so well, it seems like they are still hidden from the general public. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I still feel like there's an injustice, and maybe and I understand that they may feel this way and say, listen, we're not going anywhere because they don't support us. And if they're listening to this, what I would say to them is, listen, don't let that stop you. You come out because you will win some people over. Yes, there should be more. People should be there. Listen, like, all right, so when the boys are coming into Jamaica, I don't know if you know this, people are at the airport, interviewing them.
Seen. Yeah.
Do you realize that you never see any media at the airport when Khadija Bonishaw is coming? Remember, this is the Jamaican. There are two Jamaican. Well, this is the Jamaican playing football that is at, you'd say, the biggest club. The only other one is Raheem Sterling, who represents England. Everyone else, to be fair, they are doing well, major contracts, but they are at lesser clubs than Manchester City. West Ham, Aston Villa, when we talk about, right? So really and truly, in terms of club profile, as a Jamaican, Khadija Shaw and Drew Spence are the two highest profile players in terms of clubs. Club names, Chelsea, Manchester City. These players are coming to Jamaica and there's not a big hullabaloo about it. And I think that is something that needs to change with female football. I think we keep dismissing the effect that they are having in terms of the global sport market. And I love to see it happen more. And maybe it's going to take like some of them to say, listen, all right, let's go and just let's make ourselves available. Instead of waiting on them to call us, listen, let's go on Talawa TV. Let's go on I Am Sure Sports. Let's go on these things and talk. I think maybe that will change the narrative. I'm going to tell you why, right? Someone called me recently and said that there is a a station that has started interviewing footballers now.
Mm-hmm.
They have created a particular point of their program. This is a program that has been going on for many, many years, but now they're interviewing. They have a section for interviewing footballers.
Yeah.
All right. So the point I'm making is that if the female footballers probably start doing some of these things, because I think that is what shifted how the male were covered. In other words, you have all of these vloggers going out, going to places and doing stuff. And here's what that put additional pressure on quote unquote mainstream media to say, listen, these guys are going to take the market from us. Let's start going in. I think that same thing needs to happen with the girls. That they need to start probably using these platforms to share and let people know what is happening. And that way, the mainstream quote unquote guys can realize for too long you have undermined the progress of women's football. There's no way we shouldn't by now have a video and an interview when Khadija came through the airport and Jody came through the airport and Drew. It is the investigators in social media platforms that told us that Drew Spence was in Jamaica. Where you can have big Chelsea player arriving to make her international debut and nobody knows. Yeah. So let me see. What do you think about that, Crystal? Not hearing you.
Oh, I'm reading it. Karim Grant.
Oh, I think he's responding saying that what I'm saying is true, and that's why we can't wait to see Jade Bailey, a professional from my
from
club.
another prolific
No,
club.
he sent from his club. I think Jade Bailey plays for
Liverpool.
Liverpool. Yeah.
Yeah, she plays for Liverpool. So what point is he agreeing with? Is he
No,
agreeing
with
with
what
the
I was
profile?
just saying. Yeah, with
Profile
what
of the players, right?
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm hoping to see someone signed for Arsenal. I'm actually hoping that Manchester City can just release the shackles of Bundy and let her come to North London for the red and white next season, because that would be crazy. I don't think they're gonna do that, but it's not surprising to see women in women's football players moving from one club to another within the same league. So would love to see something like that happen where Bundy is concerned, so I can brag and boast like a few of you guys in the comment section.
No, I think what he's alluding to is that it is true that quote unquote mainstream media is not doing enough.
No, I think that comes down to interest, though, isn't it? It's interest, and also it's not just about the interest. Is maybe if you've got mainstream media and you ask someone, who wants to go and cover women's football, if nobody puts their hands up, then where do you go from there? You have to choose a dedicated reporter, and maybe the dedicated reporter might say, I don't feel comfortable covering women's football because I don't know about women's football. I don't know about the players. Well, it's quite easy. You go and do your homework. And that's the only way that you will know more about women's football. But you're right. Across the globe, especially like here in the UK, mainstream media are buying into women's football because they see the growth. But
Yeah.
Jamaica is just a funny place, right? They only seem to want to be with you when you're at the top. So maybe you will see mainstream media, that the corporate sector as well, chiming in, buying into women's football once the Reggae Girls qualify for the World Cup. That tends to be the case.
Yeah.
People want to celebrate
Or-
when you're on top.
Crystal, here's the other thing that needs to happen. If this happens, I think it will make a huge, huge difference. You know what if happens? If people start turning up at the games in droves. If you have 20,000 fans at Sabina Park, people, what? They're going to jump on board.
Yeah, I don't know. I
So
don't
it
know if
can-
it's interesting because sorry to cut you off, but you see ridiculous numbers, and I'm not saying ridiculous, I mean like ridiculous as in amazing numbers, incredible turnout when you've got, say, like cup finals where schoolboy football is concerned. So when you're looking at the professional game, forget the professional game, you're talking about your country here. You're talking about showing up for your country's colors. Why are you not showing up for your country's colors, but you show up for other sports at different level? regardless if it's at a lesser level. So something's there. There's a reason there, but I don't want to just put it down to say that it's just because it's women's football, because they don't show up for the men's team neither. So maybe we're kidding ourselves. Maybe we're not actually a footballing country. But that's weird because he show up for schoolboy football. So what's the problem? There's an issue there, clearly. Maybe it's a case of they're using the same paintbrush that they used to paint the men's team with. They're probably using that same paintbrush to paint the women's team, which is wrong. It's not right at all, because it's two different teams that's achieving. One's achieving things, the other one is at the building blocks, building stages for their succession plan. So yeah, there's probably a host of reasons as to why the support isn't there, especially for the women's team. Because you said it best on my channel the other night that the women's team don't disappoint. They don't disappoint. They always deliver. So they've given you every reason to show up, but people aren't showing up. But they'll sit and complain that the promotion isn't up to standard.
Yeah. So I think it works two ways, right? If the major stations were like doing more, like I think about this, right? I'm glad to see that one of our footballers just made a major deal with one of the telecommunications company. That's good. All right.
Mm-hmm.
But last season, like Jody Brown was voted the best youth player in CONCACAF. This is a Jamaican who got voted over players from the number one female footballing nation in the world. Because United States, if people forget, they're in CONCACAF, right?
Yeah.
And we had a Jamaican youngster, female, this female is voted the best young player in the entire CONCACAF. And up to this point, as far as I know, she doesn't endorse any product or has been used to promote anything in Jamaica. All right, let me give you a next one. Khadija Shaw has made in women's football. I don't know about the Americans because they normally play in their leagues because it's a high quality league. But you look at the clubs that she has played at: Bordeaux, played in the Champions League, played for Manchester City. All right, and we have other players playing in other leagues, but I'm talking about just names of clubs that we know. All right, and which product she's endorsing in Jamaica? Which you understand? Which product is she endorsing? But here's the thing, and you said it. Maybe we are not really a footballing place because watch this: when athletes run times that are not even records at our champs, they get major endorsements. Some of them. And here is it that we have female global stars in football. Global stars. Jody Brown is not just known, is a known commodity in CONCACAF. She's known across the world. She's one of the youngest players to play in the World Cup. Right? And so when you have that, I think, man, we need to do more. We need to do more. We need to do some more. We need to do. I don't know, man. I don't like talk. Honestly, I don't like talk. I get disappointed when I talk about it. I think we need to treat the ladies better. That's just me. I just think we haven't treated them well, and that is why, again, Crystal, I'm encouraging people to go out because it starts with us. It starts with us going out to support the game. All right. Yeah. It starts with us. We need to go out and support the game because we don't control. There are certain things we don't control. What we control is whether or not we go to the game. So let's do that, right? Did Bonisha club interview her about her international duty? Sometimes press at that club level can generate press locally. I don't know. I've seen interviews with her in terms of Manchester City, and I've seen her do an interview on a local channel. I don't even know the name of the channel, but she has done that. And I know sometimes, like I know, like Jodie Brown she's not an interview person. So some of the footballers are like that. They're very reserved and shy, and they don't want to come on and sing, right? And that's part of the thing. So yeah, uh, so that's part of it. You understand me? Bless up, Mr. Porter. Leon Price said schoolgirl football will start soon. Then he says, right now we need a female league and more female academies. Yes, I know that Neo Oxford has an academy, and there is a next academy. Oh, geez, I forgot the name. I think I have it. Falcon. There's a next academy called Falcon that I'm going to have that person on, because there are a couple of female football academies being set up and established in Jamaica. All right. Jamaica follow hype and trend. National football has no hype and is not trendy at the moment. It is a culture thing. Plus, the price of tickets are more attractive at the schoolboy and JPL level. Okay. Are there any female sport reporters in Jamaica? I see a few on TV, but are there any female beat reporters? I would think that they would be eager to tell the girls' story. Hey, that's a good point. Crystal, they're saying that this comment by Neo is suggesting that you need to move to Jamaica and be on the beat covering the reggae girls. Your company need to say, listen, this is a good story. You need to travel to Jamaica and cover this journey. I'm telling you, you need to be on the ground covering some of this. Yep.
Maybe I have to do it from where I'm standing and wait until they come across the seas. Wait until they land back in the UK or somewhere else in Europe to give you that. So, but now it's gonna have to be the new way of doing interviews. So over StreamYard or live on YouTube direct.
Okay. You see that Nigel is serious. Nigel is asking.
Nigel is not a serious person.
No,
Mr.
no,
Nigel
no.
Smith
I'm
is
going to
not
answer.
serious.
Hold on. Like, I like to answer these things because I'm thinking, if this is what you're going to use to measure Bunny Shaw in comparison to Jade Bailey, it's
I
not
think
making
he's
sense.
comparing Paige Bailey Gale.
Yeah,
But it doesn't really matter who he's comparing because
the only person to score a goal in the World Cup for Jamaica is Havana. We scored one goal. One.
And who was it that created the assist?
And who created the assist? There you go. Come on now.
You can't call yourself. You don't get the label of being leading goal scorer for your national team, for your national country, and not be right up there as one of the greatest athletes, not just footballer, greatest athletes. So Nigel is at home and he's bored and he wants to sit back and rub his belly and laugh.
Tell me the Jamaican females that have scored against the United States and against Canada. That's what I want you to tell me.
Sir Porter, you're always giving me lovely comments. Bless you, Sir Porter. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Bless up, Mr. Porter. The formula says the girl needs a bigger platform for sure. Corporate Jamaica does not realize that women's football is exploding around the world and our girls are at the forefront of it. Yep.
100%.
Yeah. Leon Price, no, not Martial. Jodie Brown score more than Martial. Come on now, man. She's like Saka from Arsenal. Come on now. Out on the flank and scoring goals. Don't say Martial. Tiddly Winks in the building with the questions. The man has changed his name. Is this the real Tiddly Winks? How do I know it is? I know it is a Twiddly Winks because the Twiddly Winks is always asking questions. He understands this, that when you're before great people, it is not the answers that you give that makes a difference. It is your question that you ask. And you know great leaders because great leaders give less answers and ask more questions. So Tiddly Winks is a great leader. He's asking questions. He says Jamaica could be said to be a very macho, ego-driven country. To what degree does the relative success of the reggae girls compare to the reggae boys unsettle some? All right. I don't know. Crystal, you want to take the great Tiddlywinks question? Okay.
I feel like we have a few people that's pulling our legs today. I don't know. The sun is shining in London, so maybe Mr. Tiddlywinks himself is in a good mood.
Sun is shining.
Can just picture him right now with his feet up. It's safe to say that it's respectfully so. It's incomparable, but as things stands, there's literally nothing there to compare. And it's not because it's a difference in gender. If you're talking about achievements and success, then you can't compare the two. In the modern age, modern football, the only team, the only national team that's given us success and have released the shackles for us to be prideful when we put on the black, green, and gold jersey is the women's team when they qualified for the Women's World Cup back in 2018, and then subsequently going over to France to make their World Cup debut. So the World Cup, I think it's safe to say that's the best sporting competition in the world. Regardless of any sport that you compare it to, it's for me, it's number one. And they've gotten there under similar, you can call it paper. I wouldn't say like for like management in terms of when you look at the federation, because I think they're treated 3 times worse than their male counterparts. But let's say, for argument's sake, similar circumstances, and they've risen above the challenge, hurdled over many different hurdles, and knocked down plenty doors just to achieve historic success. So I don't think you can compare the two modern Jamaican male and female football team. It's just there's nothing there to compare. Only thing you probably compare is the colors, the fact that they wear the black, green, and gold. But if you're talking about success and achievements, respectfully, there is nothing there to compare.
Yeah, good point. All right. Maislin, let me use a surname, right? Greetings to 2 of my favorite hosts. Minimum wage is low, and persons have to use almost half of their salary to purchase a ticket. Why not make the tickets cheaper? Pack the stadium, make more money. All right, so the game, people. Minimum wage is, I think, $9,000 per week. Not high, lot of bills. All right, the ticket is like you can get a ticket at Sabina Park for like $1,000. That's 1,000 Jamaican dollars. That's like just below, just above 10% of a week of your minimum wage. 10%. All right. So if you work for the month, 9,000, because remember the tax is not on it. That's like 4,900 is 36. That's $36,000. That's still less than. So if you take $1,000, that's like less than 5% of your pay to buy the ticket. All right. This is the only time you will be able to watch the Reggae Girls play a World Cup qualifying game in Jamaica, right? Until 2025. All right, which is 3 years from now. You will not be able to watch the Reggae Girls play a next game in World Cup qualifying until 2025. My suggestion to you is to get a ticket for less than 5% of the minimum wage salary for this once in a lifetime opportunity. Go to Sabina Park and watch the game. All right. So that is my answer to that one. Big up, it had this friend who Carvel says that only women winning. We need women to run the JFF. Not about. If all depends who can afford. It's 1,000. Nothing to me. Okay. Bunny Ghost come against Caribbean teams. All right. Nigel really trying to make an argument right here. Come on, you need to come on strong. I ask you a question. You said I did not answer your answer my question. Tell me the Jamaicans who have scored against USA and Canada. That's what I ask you. I have to work, so I can't go, and too far, I think that is saying. Bless up our house music says Jamaica football fan talk a lot but does not support their team. The Wagonist mentality is yet to show them that corporate follow fan support. If you don't support your team in the stands, yeah, the business are not going to put their monies in it. I disagree. We can compare. One is regressing steadily while the other is improving steadily. He's saying that the women's game is improving, the men's game is, yeah. Last time I heard the tickets were 3,000. No, the tickets at the National Stadium were more expensive, right? Because remember, they only had a certain amount for grandstand, right? It was just the opening of the pandemic and all of those things. You remember, that was the first, that was for the game against Bermuda that we played. Right? So remember, so Bina Park has different areas. There, like the party stand. So there, you understand me? So there are different areas. There are $1,000 tickets that you can get. The tickets that were sold at that price were for the game at the National Stadium when they had, I think they were given 2,500 spectators for that game. I think that is why they had to sell the tickets for that amount, because they weren't given a large amount of people, so they had to charge an amount with the hope of covering the costs for running the operation. So that is what really happened. But it's not the case anymore. Why not ask sponsors and our alumni to buy tickets for students to attend the game? Some school could even bust them. All right, all of these ideas, here's what I'm going to say. Listen, nobody need to ask them. If you are at Woolmer's Girls School, you're going to run a school program, Woolmer School for Girls, already you buy some tickets. Like I'm saying, like, who's supposed to ask? Why not ask? Who's supposed to ask the sponsors? I'm saying that if you love football and you are overseas and you're a millionaire, call Crystal and say, Crystal, I'm going to sponsor 4 tickets. You have a giveaway on your show and give 4 tickets away. But the people have to be school kids. That's how we support programs. Don't put it on other people. All right, let's put it on us. Don't put it on other people. Let's put it on us. What are you going to do? So here's what I did for the Reggae Boys game. I got ticket for both games for persons. Come and support the team. So I am saying all you have to do is say, listen, Coach Minzy, Manning's man, Formula. Listen, I want to purchase, what's the ticket for? $1,000. I'm going to send you 100 US and buy 10 tickets and give to people who are willing to go to the game. Like stuff like that makes a difference. That's my thing. TVJ is a journalist that has followed the Reggae Girls long before they became fashionable. Oh, Karen Madden, yes. All right. Anything you want to add, Crystal? We're just going through some of the comments as we are coming to an end. But go ahead if you want to add anything.
My niece plays for the teammates to join. Yeah, it just goes back to what I said. Like I said, I did an interview with one of the Reggae Boys yesterday, and they liked the idea. So basically, I said quite similar to what myself and Mannings and Mikey Ballin and also Mr. Richard Stevens were talking about, in the sense of distributing the tickets to high school children, and he liked that idea. I'm not really sure why things like that don't come natural in terms of marketing. It's safe to say that you can't change the ways that the older generation perceive women's football, but the new generation's there for the taking, who wouldn't want to sit and watch a game of football for free, particularly with the new generation. You can even take it a step further and say you're selecting a school Don't know if that the winner done by competition gets to meet the reggae girls who wouldn't want to be part of that. There's so many ways to be innovative, to galvanize the nation, the new set of generation to get on board and support the team. Obviously, if you're a high school student and you're of a certain age, then I'm assuming for safeguarding reason that you would travel to the games with your parents. So you're using one stone to kill two birds. The parents come along and so does the children, or the children comes along and so does the parents. So there's so many different ideas there that can be mapped out. But how badly do we want it? How badly do we want to elevate women's football on home soil? Because other countries are doing it, but we're lapses behind.
Yeah, there's one academy I don't want to call any names, but every time there's a match at the national stadium, all the academy players, when they leave training, they come to the games. Every game that I've gone to, that's what I'm saying, right? But no, man, and for Neo, I know that. Listen, Neo will buy tickets. All I'm saying is that past student associations, like if you're part of, say you are a past student of stats. Or, I don't want to call stats because Mr. Porter is here. Next thing you've told me. Who should I say? Give us Excelsior. Can't say Excelsior. Karoom is here. Say you're a past student. Can't say Manins because they're going to say, okay, Manins you. Which school should I use? Say, if you're a Calabar or Brain Drain is here, I can use Calabar. Say you're a Calabar like Brain Drain, a Calabar past student. You have a Manning Cup team, right? Right? And say the reggae boys are playing. You can call the school and say, listen, I'm going to get 5 tickets for some of the players to just go and watch the game. The Manning Cup player or the under 16. Those are the things that we have to do to kind of, support the development of the sport. If you attended Immaculate or you attended Excelsior or Woolmer's Girls or Meadowbrook or one of the girls' school or the school that play in the girl football league, or you run one of those girl clubs, maybe the Waterhouse and thing, and you are part of that community and you have the resources to, you could say, listen, I'm going to buy some tickets for some of the young ladies to go to the game. Right? That's how we do it. There are certain things we can't put on other people when we can make a difference. So just do what you can do. It may not be enough, but at least you can say, listen, I did something. I did not just speak about it. And see, you think I want to listen, it's a very expensive. Outside of the ticket, it cost me an additional $100 US to go to a game outside of buying the ticket. So when I go to a game, I have the additional expense of $100, including toll and gas and stuff. All right? So I don't go because I don't go because let me put this in. But I do it because, to me, I want to be able to speak from a place of moral authority. That when I come on and say, go to the match, I'm not criticizing people for not going when I have never gone. So when I come and say, go to the game, I'm saying that because I don't miss any. I save on a budget. So long before the campaign, I checked that Jamaica was going to play 7 games. And I budget what ticket possibly would cost, what I did that. And I started saving towards it because I didn't want to miss any game. And I know other people who did that. So I'm saying that we can do some things to bring change. So we just do what we can do. That's it. All right. So we have around 11 minutes to go, Crystal. Richard says, Crystal, your humility, intellect, and ability to call a spade sets you apart. Notice how management shifted. All right. So people, you see, Richard is Twiddlywinks. Let me not call him Richard. Twiddlywinks is saying that management is not humble. He has no intellect, and he has no ability to call a spade. And so Crystal has been set apart from me. She has been circumcised, and I am uncircumcised. All right?
He has a wonderful way with words, Mr. Richards.
Best of Richard. Oh my lord. I enjoy talking to Richard. Karim says somebody's asking if Neil is still working with the Meadowbrook team. Please run down your predicted lineup for the girls team. We did that already, but let's just go through it. Of course, I had something different, but the smart, the humble, intelligent, intellectual, Crystal convinced me to make some adjustments. So we have
I would say go with what you're comfortable with, Manning. But yeah, I don't think there's gonna be much disagreements there. We're spoiled for choices with our squad depth, so we're actually quite fortunate.
yeah. So let me give it. Let me give you the MC Mannings and Crystal, right? MC Mannings and Crystal starting 11, right? No, maybe I should call it the CM Crystal because she has the predominant hand in this. All right, so we have Rebecca in goal. We have the Swaby sisters at centre back. We have Sashana at left back, and I think we have Tierney Wilshire at right back. All right, in midfield, think we have gone with Asha, Drew Spence, and Kayla McCoy. We have Jody Brown, Bonnie Shaw, Nigel. Yes, we have Bonnie Shaw. And then we have on the other side, we said we decided, having been prodded by Crystal, that Tiffany Cameron is the one.
I know. It feels like I'm getting a sense that you don't want to start Tiff. I mean, you have the option. You got Tiff, you've got Shade. But look, the way I see it, I'm not going to be disappointed with whichever the starting 11 is. We might see more of the same, so we might actually see Tiff start against Dominican Republic and not necessarily against Cayman Islands.
Yeah.
I think that's what we'll see. I think we'll see Tiff starts against Dominican Republic.
Yep. Nigel is asking how much for the tickets to watch the female play. I think there are different prices, but I understand that there are some prices for 1,000 Jamaican dollars. 1,000 Jamaican dollars is like £4, £4.50. I don't know, £4 and how much and what after the. So 50 cents, or it wouldn't be cents, right? It would be £4 and
pence,
and 50 pence.
Pence, yeah,
right.
Pence.
There you go. All right. And if you're in the United States, it's around $8. All right. So yeah, Drew is in the squad. Whether or not she will play, she's in the squad. She can't be in the squad if she can't play. The fact that she's in the squad means that whatever is needed is done. No, the team leaves for Cayman Islands on Friday, which is tomorrow. The game is on Saturday. They train today at Sabina Park, so if you're in the area, you can go and watch them. I will ask about whether school. Awesome, Sir Neil Severin. I know you will, man. I know you will. Brain Drain Management, Crisco. A few closing words and your thoughts on the Reggae Girls' contribution to Jamaica's sporting landscape.
I'm going to tell Mr. Richard Stevens that just stick a pin in it. With that comment. I was requested by Mr. Richard Stevens to do a live stream of Grenada versus Cayman Islands, and you'll be surprised to know, Mannings, that there was no show. There was a no show for Mr. Stevens there last night. So I delivered, but I didn't get the support I was expecting from Mr. Richard Stevens. So I'm not sure I want to provide you with a response there, Mr. Richard Stevens, but I might give me some seconds to think about it, and I might just change my mind and give you an answer to your question. Let's see what you guys are saying in the comment section. Very good start. It can be. damage. All right. I obviously can't bring up the comments, guys, because the control comes from Manning's end. So
Sorry, Crystal. Sorry
no,
about
it's okay. Do your thing. Do your thing.
that. So you're I can't believe you, Richard. You're a no-show.
It was a no-show, and I was just expecting him to be in the comment section. I
We're gonna
wasn't
have to change the
expecting him.
name from Twiddly Winks to Twiddly Blinks.
I didn't see him last night in the comment section. Bitterly disappointed there, Mr. Stevens.
Whoa. Satara Moore is a missing piece for the squad. As soon as she becomes eligible, we will be formidable in the back. Satara Mori. Okay, I don't know if I know Satara Mori, but I'll check on her.
I think you've seen Satara Murray play. You probably just not remembered her just because of her length of
Absence.
games there.
Oh.
Yeah, that's it. Absence is what I'm searching for. Just trying to search for something. I just need to respond to someone quickly there. Mannings.
Yeah, Everton says very good start in 11. They can do a lot of damage, hoping they'll stay healthy for the Damrep game. No, you can't say tiddly miss. You have to say tiddly missing. Tiddly missing. I like that. Tiddly blink. He blinks. I don't know, Richard, how you could do that to Crystal? You ask for the show to go up and then you don't turn up. Eh?
I'm disappointed. That's all I can say.
Crystal, you actually said that. You said that I'm going to come knocking on your door.
Glad you remember.
Yes.
He didn't. He didn't even open the door. Did he even say I'm unavailable? I'm not at home.
What kind of wings are you? Eh? Tiddly, what kind of wings are you? You're like the wings that plays at Tottenham.
Harry about the Prince Charming. That's not a good look.
You see that, Crystal? I need my vitamin D boost. By the time I was canning for the game, it had finished. My sincere apologies. I will be there. Really? Let us link. You're trying to rhyme, Mr. Tiddly Winks, about let us link.
It's not going to work, I'm afraid. We're sending Mr. Richard Stevens to the away fans on Saturday. He's sitting with the away supporters. He's not sitting with the home supporters.
There you go. Reno FC says he wants to sponsor 10 people for the match. Reno FC, I don't know if you're in Western Jamaica, but I know that they have a female team down there. And you have like Mannings and Petersfield and Frome High School. Maybe you can find out from those schools and see if you want to do it there. But there are also like schools like Karumi's, like Excelsior. Ryan can get you connected to Excelsior. Coach Minzy can connect you to St. Diego, where Bonishaw went. That there may be players there. You have, so there are different persons you can contact that can get kids from the school to actually go. Girls who play football and their teams. So that's one way you could do it, right? You could use any one of the persons on the different platforms that you're close to. You could talk to them and say, listen, can you do this? Can you give that and stuff? Yeah, but yeah. Crystal, what are your thoughts on Kanya Plummer playing at right back? I think that suits her game well.
She's a centre back, so yeah. Maybe they're thinking of someone different there than Kanya. But as we've said so many times before, Kanya is unavailable due to personal reasons, so we're not expected to see Kanya around for a while. We can't even consider Kanya at present.
Nigel doesn't like her team. Nigel, listen. Crystal, when are you going to do your preview? Tomorrow?
You know what? I'm trying to map that out. Tomorrow, I'm going to be doing a live watch-along.
To the game.
Exactly. So I'm thinking maybe tomorrow isn't wise. I think I'm going to have to just do that watch-along. I'm going to have to do a preview tonight then because...
All right. Nigel, Crystal... Listen, you just send me the notification. I'll come on. Nigel, put up your starting. Here's what you do, Nigel. Put up your starting 11 and go to Talawa TV. So, because we haven't been hours, we're just gesticulating, a new word, right? We don't know that. So if you have something different, present it over on Talawa TV and then we can talk about it. Yep. But
Yeah.
I want to thank every single one of you for coming on, for being a part of the show. It was really a great, great joy. I'm going to give the lady the final word for her to tell you, if you don't know, now you're going to know where she's at, where you can find her on social media. Don't expect to get her phone number or address. That is not permitted. This is not I am sure date. This is I am sure sports. All right. So all you're getting is the channel. Go ahead, Crystal, and let them know.
First of all, thank you so much for inviting me onto your channel. I always laugh whenever I come over here. I'm always like just laughing, and it's always such a light-hearted and pleasant, informative conversation. And that's the reason whenever you ask me to come sit on your channel, I'm like, it's a no-brainer. Always have to make some time for you. So educated, articulate, sincere as well with what it is you're trying to achieve for the women's team, honest with your approach on the women's team, and it's great to rub shoulders with you and to call you a colleague. And yeah, definitely available to come over on your channel whenever. And massive shout out to guys in your comment section as well. I hope you've all hit the like button, and thank you so much for sitting here with the best part of 2 hours with myself and Mr. Mannings FC. I'm actually going to be doing a live stream myself. I'm going to be doing the preview of that game. I'm looking towards, say, 11 p.m. UK. So that would give Mannings enough time to get himself some food, give me some time to eat dinner. And then we'll get things rolling around 11 o'clock.
So
UK.
that's five in Jamaica. Nigel, if you're in the United States, I think that's 6 your time. So make sure you have to subscribe. So Crystal is going to put on Talawa TV the subscriber mode, which means if you're not a subscriber, we're not going to see your comments. You have to just kidding, I don't know. But you have to go over and subscribe. All right. So respect to all of you. And then he also wants to sponsor tickets, right? And so there are several ways. Like any one of the persons on these platforms, you can just probably purchase the tickets. I know they have the e-ticket thing, which is on the phone, and then you could get the numbers and send them out to the different persons. All right. All right. A superstar, right, Crystal?
Mm-hmm.
One of the richest men in YouTube vlogging space.
Mm-hmm.
Has asked me to ask you. I mean, he has the richest name. I don't know if he's the richest person. I'm just kidding. He has asked me to ask you. He said, when will I be able to grace your So she's asking me to ask you when he will be able to grace your program. He is the owner of the club you love the best, the Gunners.
No brainer. Am I going to say no to Mr. Cronky himself, Sir Cronky?
You have to call. You call him name. I was trying not to call him. You let the name out. He was.
I mean, is it supposed to be a secret?
Yeah. Well, he said a secret message. Yeah.
My apologies there. I think I thought the secret was for me not to figure out who it was, but since you're saying the owner, whenever he's available, he's more than welcome to come onto my platform whenever.
Yeah. Okay. So once you're on it later, then you can send me a link. I'll send it to him. I also realized that my brother was trying to get on, and I have to call him, please. And then I know we close, but I can't do this. I have to have him come on.
I told you I'm available, so
yeah.
We can close up whenever you're ready.
Yeah. So let me just make sure I get him on, and then.
Okay.
I can't do this to him. Oh my Lord, I missed the message. This is the thing that happens when you're. Come on, you have to answer. Hello. Good
evening, sir.
I just saw the message, so I said, let me call you so you can come on. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
I am doing fine. How are you doing?
I'm doing good and at work. Having fun in my lunchtime, sir. Can't complain. Have life, kids, family, everybody alright. So I have to give thanks.
Okay, all right. And you need to greet the beautiful lady, you know. You can't come on the program and not say anything about the beautiful lady, else I will cut off the call, you know. I'm just kidding.
Good afternoon, bro.
Good evening, sister.
How are you?
Where are you, Ryan? Hello?
Hmm?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Oh, Crystal, go ahead, because she wasn't hearing you.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm doing fine. Good to hear from Crystal and big up yourself, Mannings, man. Sir Mannings, man. No further respect. So,
Yeah, man.
what are you guys up to? So, all right. Yeah, go ahead, Mannings, man.
No, man. Go ahead, man. It's your time, man. It's your time, you know.
Just say about the girls team. I hope the fans can go and support the girls and stop talking about the ticket price. Just go and support. And the girls them need the support. You know, they have two important games World Cup qualifiers, so just give them the support. Let's hopefully we can get 6 points because we are dependent on the reggae girls right now to qualify for the World Cup because we need it. Cannot have another disappointment where we don't have any team going into the World Cup this year. I think next year or this year is World Cup. But for me, Mannings, man, I am really looking forward to see the girls, especially Tiffany Cameron, my favorite reggae girls player. My favorite reggae girls player. She's feeling. And also, Jordan Brown, very good player. I don't know why he's still not playing in the game. I don't really feel to but I like to see the positive where what is going on with the reggae girls team. I hope Come Nation League can have this positive with the men's team. You know, it's going to be difficult, but I hope so. But I am wish them all the best in this upcoming game. Hope they can play much better. You know what I mean? Them in our camp, so that is great. So I'm really looking forward to the game. So that's just what I want to say, and I want to big up you and Crystal. I think both of you guys doing a fantastic job, especially you, Mannings, man. Crystal have a lot of work to put in, but I still love her, and she get it.
No, and we learned from you, but remember you're very instrumental in giving us advice. But big up yourself. Sound like you're in a tunnel though. I don't know. Like you're in a freezer or something. I don't know. And you have on some heap of thing all over your head and face and thing. I don't know.
No man, me there in the lunchroom, but you know them have a whole heap of work, you know. Fix car and things, so I hear a whole heap of them now and things, so that's right.
I never know see a fix car, man.
Yeah, man, nobody work and do a whole heap of things.
Me think are you get the job to put on the license plate when the car them don't make.
It's where the money too. I tell you, Bridget, why you go turn a DJ, brother? Jesus Christ, bro.
I have to give Crystal something to laugh about. Yeah, man. All right. Bless up, bro. And all the best to you and your family. And we'll talk. You don't know.
Most definitely. Blessings.
Yeah, man.
Take care, Ryan.
Yeah. All right. So there you go, people. That's it. So, yeah. So, Crystal, we will 5 o'clock, people, 5 o'clock, Talawa TV. The great owner of the Denver Nuggets, the LA Rams, will be on over there. Hailing out of Hanover, Jamaica. Yours truly, he will be on by special invitation on Talawa TV, 5 o'clock. In Jamaica, 6 o'clock in the United States.
Can you ask him if he's bringing Josh along with him as well, please?
He's listening. He's actually listening. You know, that's why I know you're on. So
yeah, okay. Well, yeah, he has to
just
bring
letting
Josh
you know,
with him
Stan,
as well.
she has no interest in you. She just inviting you because she wants Josh to come along.
Yeah, that's dead giveaway. I blew it. I should have just kept quiet.
Yeah, man, but blessings, all the best, and we'll talk later. Just send me the link and I'll be there. Owen, you are late for the show, my friend, but bless you. All right, Nigel, remember, keep your team for later, man. Just check us out over at Crystal's channel later and bring a team. Like your front three is not bad. I wouldn't have a problem with it, but Crystal and Ryan will. But so
yeah, Ryan is going to want to see
Tiffany. There you go.
But like I said, I mean, Nigel has slightly changed his tune there, because before it was to have Bailey start over Bunny. So he thinks he's slick. I'll see what you're doing there, Nigel. I hope to see you on my channel later on.
Yeah, man. All right, bless up. All right, see, all the best. Owen, bless up as well. Everyone, I can't remember all the names, can't call all the names, but I appreciate every single one of you. It's good when we have conversations that I can keep my eyes in the comment section and not be going like, oh my God, that again. So thanks to the persons in the comment section. Good. It is so good that we could have a discussion, and we spent 98% of the time speaking about the females. That's good. And so I'm happy about that. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of every one of you in the comment section that you're very stick-to-itive to the women's football on this particular program. Have yourself a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day. Be safe. And remember, Talawa TV, 5 p.m. in Jamaica, 11 p.m. in the UK, and 6 p.m. in the United States. Jump over and join the show. It's going to be a big one. It's going to be a good one. All the best until we meet again.
Yo, watch about dog, SK New Erdis, the body out there, Sniper King I represent for I Am Sure Sports. You get to me, I say, when you want the latest news and sports and updates and all of that, check out I Am Sure Sports. You know the thing goes in. Remember, cover the whole island. Remember Kingston, Westmoreland, Galchester, Orchard Race, Galtigo Bay, everywhere. I Am Sure Sports, check it out for the latest news and latest updates. Sniper King I represent. Where them feel like, yeah, someone on for the food from young, from where they need height. I Am Sure Sports. Yeah, dog.